The moment a tumor can't get any blood, it's trapped. It cannot grow larger than the tip of a ballpoint pen. That tiny little metal ball, that's it. No oxygen, no nutrients, it just sits there, harmless, almost. But the second blood vessels reach that microscopic cluster and start feeding it. That same tiny cancer can grow 16,000 times larger in just 2 weeks. 16,000 times, that is not slow. That is an explosion, and that moment is called angiogenesis, when our own body's blood supply gets hijacked to feed something that shouldn't be there, and that is where my work began. I am Dr. Meilin, and for years I have studied how to starve cancer by cutting off its blood supply. When I first entered this field, we were trying to develop drugs that could do exactly that, block those new blood vessels, stop the fuel, and we succeeded. Those drugs are now a standard part of cancer treatment, but here is where things get really interesting. When we took the same testing methods used to develop those drugs and turned them toward food, we found something surprising. Over 100 common foods can do the same thing. They can help starve cancer naturally, not replace treatment, not cure anything on their own, but help quietly, powerfully. I remember one experiment early in my career. We had a test system for drugs that could block blood vessel growth. And one day, just out of curiosity, I dropped some green tea into the mix. Nothing fancy, just brewed green tea, and the results were shocking. The polyphenols in that tea stopped those blood vessels in their tracks. So effectively that I told my lab technician it came from a drug company just to see their reaction. They were ready to celebrate. They wanted to start jumping up and down. And when I told them it was just green tea, they did not believe me at first. Mother Nature, it turns out, is really good at this. The main compound in green tea is called egg. That is a type of polyphenol, and it is one of the most powerful natural anti-angiogenic substances we have found. But it is not alone. Resveratrol, which comes from red wine, is another one. Very powerful, very effective at cutting off blood supply to cancer. And then there is genistein. That is a phytoestrogen found in soy, and this is where I need to clear something up because there is so much confusion out there. You may have heard that soy is bad for you, that it causes hormone problems. I recently saw a magazine cover that called soy dangerous, anti-nutrients, they said. And honestly, my mind was blown. Because when you look at the science, phytoestrogens in soy look nothing like human estrogen. They do not act like human estrogen. In fact, they block human estrogen, they are protective, and they are anti-angiogenic. They cut off blood supply to breast cancer. This has been shown in human breast cancer patients, not just in Petri dishes. So please do not be afraid of soy. It is a friend, not an enemy. Tomatoes have lycopene. Blueberries have anthocyanins. So many of the plant foods we already know are healthy are now being rediscovered as natural blood vessel blockers. They do not just give you vitamins, they actively work to keep bad blood vessels from feeding tumors, and that is a whole different level of protection. Let me tell you something amazing about blueberries. That deep blue color is not just pretty, it is a natural dye called anthocyanin, and anthocyanins have been found to be powerful activators of your immune system. Not in a way that causes autoimmune disease, not in a way that makes your body attack itself, just in a way that strengthens your natural defenses. They elevate your T cells and your natural killer cells. Think of these as your immune system's special forces, the soldiers that go after threats before they become problems. Studies show that eating just 1.5 cups of blueberries a day can raise your T cell activity by about 88%. That is huge, and athletes who eat blueberries regularly just walk around with higher baseline immunity. It is not a performance enhancer, it is a performance maintainer. Your immune system stays at peak readiness. But here is the beautiful part. The same anthocyanins that boost immunity also lower inflammation. And this is a classic dilemma in the wellness world. We want strong immunity but low inflammation. Those two things often seem to conflict. Blueberries solve that problem. They give you both at the same time. Another incredible food for your immune system is broccoli. Broccoli contains a natural compound called sulforaphane that is part of a family of chemicals that give broccoli its unique taste. You also find it in kale, chard, and other leafy greens. But broccoli is especially strong, and just like with blueberries, eating broccoli can boost your T cells. But I want to give you a little hack, a pro tip. Most people eat the tops, the tree-like part, and throw away the stems. Do not do that. The stems have twice as much sulforaphane as the tops, twice as much, if you do not like eating stems raw or put them in a blender, make a soup, add a little vegetable stock, some oregano, and you have a delicious immune-boosting meal. But if you really want to take it to another level, eat broccoli sprouts. These are 3 to 4 day old baby broccoli plants, and here is the number that stopped me in my tracks. Broccoli sprouts have 100 times more sulforaphane than grown-up broccoli. 100 times. There was a study done with healthy 20-year-olds getting the flu vaccine. Some of them also drank a smoothie made from broccoli sprouts. The ones who had the sprouts ramped up their immune response by 22 times. 22 times. That is not a small improvement. That is your body suddenly having many more tools to fight with. Now let me talk about something that matters just as much as the science: human nature. I have spent years counseling patients, and I have learned something important. When you tell people to stop doing something, their brain immediately wants to do it one more time, just to see. Human nature abhors deprivation. We do not like having things taken away, so I never start by telling people what to remove from their diet. Fear, guilt, and shame are the building blocks of traditional nutrition counseling, but they do not work long-term. They just make people feel bad. Instead, I empower people. I help them add good things, because when you add enough good things, the bad things naturally have less room. In my research, I have found about 200 foods that activate your body's health defenses, and I dare you to look through that list and tell me there is nothing you like. Everyone finds something. So I say, start there. Start with what you already enjoy, because now you know that what you like is actually good for you. That changes everything. You can love your food and love your health at exactly the same time. Think about kiwi for a moment. I have always liked kiwi, but I never ate them very often. Then I started researching them, and kiwi is remarkable. First, it is a great source of vitamin C and fiber. The vitamin C is a powerful antioxidant that protects your DNA. Studies show that eating 1 kiwi a day can reduce DNA damage by about 60%. If you eat 3 kiwis a day, your body can actually repair damaged DNA, improve it by about 60%. That is your genetic material we are talking about, the instruction manual for your entire body, and something as simple as a kiwi can protect it. But kiwi does more. It is packed with fiber. That fiber feeds your gut microbiome, and your gut bacteria are not just about digestion. They control inflammation, mood, immunity, even weight. A study done in Singapore found that eating just 1 kiwi overnight started to change the gut microbiome toward healthier species of bacteria. 1 kiwi, one night, that is not a long-term commitment, that is a single piece of fruit. And here is my favorite part about teaching people this. Once you know something good about a food, you cannot unlearn it. Every time you see a kiwi at the grocery store, something in your brain will whisper, I know there is something good there. And if you remember what it is, protecting your DNA, feeding your microbiome, you will reach for it, not because someone told you to, because you understand. Let me take you back to the beginning for a moment, the big picture. Your body has 5 major health defenses: angiogenesis, which controls blood vessel growth; stem cells, which repair damaged tissue; your microbiome, which houses trillions of helpful bacteria; DNA protection, which keeps your genetic code intact; and immunity, which fights off threats. Every single one of these defenses can be strengthened by the foods you eat. Not by expensive supplements, not by extreme diets, by real, whole, plant-based foods that have been around for thousands of years. And here is the freedom in this approach. You do not have to be perfect. Every now and then, you are going to fall off the wagon. You are going to eat something you know is not great for you. Maybe it is a birthday party. Maybe it is a stressful day. Maybe everyone around you is eating it and you just want to join in. That is okay. Your body has you covered. Your health defenses are there as a shield. They do not vanish because of one bad meal. They work in the background all the time, especially when you have been feeding them well most of the time. This is why strict diets fail. They are unsustainable. They rely on willpower, and willpower runs out, but understanding lasts. When you truly know why a blueberry helps your immune system, you do not need willpower to eat it. You want to eat it. When you know that a kiwi protects your DNA, it stops being a random fruit and starts being something you actively choose. So let me give you a summary of what we have covered. A tumor without blood vessels cannot grow beyond the size of a pen tip, that is fact. But once blood vessels reach it, growth becomes explosive. That process is angiogenesis. We developed drugs to block it. Then we discovered that over 100 foods can do the same thing naturally. Green tea with egg, red wine with resveratrol, soy with genistein, tomatoes with lycopene, blueberries with anthocyanins, which also boost T cells by nearly 90% and lower inflammation at the same time. Broccoli, and especially broccoli sprouts with sulforaphane, which can ramp up immune response 22 times. Kiwi with vitamin C and fiber, protecting DNA and feeding your gut microbiome. None of this is complicated. None of this requires exotic ingredients or expensive powders. These are foods you can find in any grocery store, and the more of them you add to your daily life, the stronger your 5 health defenses become. Not perfectly, not overnight, but steadily, quietly, in a way that works with your body instead of against it. If you found this helpful, I would love to have you subscribe so you do not miss future videos. I share things like this all the time. Simple, science-backed ways to work with your body's natural wisdom. No fear, no guilt, just real information from a doctor who genuinely cares about helping you feel in control of your health. So here is my challenge to you. Pick one food from today, just one. maybe it is blueberries, maybe it is broccoli sprouts, maybe it is kiwi, and add it to your week, not as a punishment, not as a chore, as a gift to yourself. Because now you know what it is doing inside your body, and every time you eat it, you are not just feeding yourself, you are feeding your defenses, you are protecting your DNA, you are strengthening your immune system, you are cutting off blood supply to things that should not be there. One meal at a time, one choice at a time, that is how real health happens, not through perfection, through understanding, and through small, consistent actions that add up to something extraordinary. Thank you for listening. I am Dr. Meilin, and I will see you in the next video.